again, and welcome to another episode of Thoughts of a Spartan. Originally, I planned on covering this week's episode of Dungeons and Discords, but after watching it, I was pretty much overall meh about the whole episode. Spike and Big Mac invite Discord over to play Ogres and Obulettes, but everything you expect to happen in this scenario pretty much does. I honestly strained myself really hard, but I really couldn't find anything particular to really like or hate about this episode. Well, with the exception of the costumes that Rainbow Dash and Big Mac wore pretty badass. I'd even dressed up for this whole episode review, too. Oh well. So, instead of giving my thoughts on My Little Pony, I'll be instead covering something from the Halo side of the universe. That, of course, being guns! And even better, Halo guns! And best of all, Halo guns you could potentially bring home yourself. That's right, I'll be covering the line of Halo Dart Gun replicas released by Mattel's Boomco.
My little pony, my little pony.
Ah yes, Boomco. Mattel's answer to Hasbro's Nerf. They're relative newcomers to the game, but they've released a series of dart guns in the last couple of years that have seen mild success. But they have been really getting the attention of Halo fans when they announced a line of dart guns based off the weapons found in their beloved franchise. Toys like these are very ideal for cosplaying opportunity. They tend to be lighter than their high-end resident replica cousins, and also significantly less expensive, so it doesn't hurt your wallet as badly if something happens to them. So far, they've released 7 different weapons from the Halo universe. Today, I'll be assessing 6 of them for their cosplay potential. As seen in Halo 5, this is a trusty sidearm of any Spartan. Mattel has made them into a trio of colors so far, including red, blue, and lime green. It's very close to its game counterpart as far as looks go. And the top pistol slide actually works. With the exception of a paint job, there's no real modification necessary to make this suitable for field use. As I said before, it needs a paint job to look the proper part of a Halo pistol. Now, I understand that they make these guns bright colors on purpose so they're mistaken for real ones, but it's still kind of an inconvenience. Also, its considerable small size makes holding it a challenge for bigger fellows such as myself. It also has this weird reversed safety switch mechanism built in, where the trigger can only be pulled properly if there's a dart loaded into the chamber. Ever since its debut in Halo 2, I've never been a huge fan of the SMG, both gameplay-wise and aesthetically. They always came off as dull and bland to me, not to mention they were totally ineffective against any of the enemies I used it on. So, whenever I was given one in the game, I usually traded it for the nearest assault or battle rifle. The body's decently sized, not overly small, not overly huge, so that makes it perfect and ideal for dual wielding for those who wish to. I mean, I've already given this one a paint job, but if you've seen it, it comes in that really obnoxious red color. It also has that weird reverse safety switch mechanism I keep talking about. Also, the suppressor is comically oversized. I had to cut this one off and replace it with a piece of PVC pipe I found. Also, the clip that's used to feed into it so it can actually shoot darts leaves a giant gaping hole in the middle of the body. And until you can find something to cover that up properly, it's an eyesore. In general, I've never been a huge fan of the Covenant's arsenal, though there are a couple exceptions, and one of them is on the Covenant pistol. And honestly, it's the only one that can be pulled straight out of the package and put straight to use. It's decently sized, no paint job is necessary. The only bad thing I can really say about it is that strange reverse anti-safety switch that they put on all their triggers. As I said in the previous one, there's only a handful of Covenant weapons that I'm genuinely fond of, and another one of them is the Covenant Needler. Once again, this one's decently sized, and I may go so far as to say that it might be even accurately sized. No paint job job is necessary for this one. And the needles on top light up, which is a very nice touch in my personal opinion. While the darts that sit on top of the gun do light up, and I think that is a very nice touch. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with any game-accurate needles that would normally sit on top of the needler. Since Halo 3, I've always loved the aesthetic look and feel of the Brute Spiker, and finally being able to get my hands on one is pretty much a dream come true. This gun is pretty decently sized, and with its pistol grip it fits very nicely in the hand. Also, for thin pieces of plastic, the blades are considerably sturdy. While this one does need some work in the paint job department, it's not as bad as some of the other weapons on this list. Especially the blades, grip, and receiver already come pre-painted the correct color, so all that leaves is the body. Ever since the release of Halo CE, it's been many a fan's dream to own this iconic weapon, and while I've certainly owned many more in the past, it's always nice to add one more to my collection. This assault rifle is very nicely detailed. From the barrel to the butt of this weapon, they certainly put a lot of love and attention into this gun. I'd even go so far as to say it's quite potentially game accurate. For the most part. It even sounds the part of the assault rifle. Sort of. And unlike the SMG and Brute Spiker, it actually makes an attempt to close up the clip gap in this one. It's got this little flap right here. While it's certainly not as noticeably small as the Buzzbee toy that came before it, it definitely doesn't measure up to my full-size replica of the assault rifle. And while that gap is certainly covered from the right side, the same cannot be said about the left side of the gun. And of course, it's definitely going to need a paint job before it can be made for cosplay use. Overall, any one of these weapons are a perfect addition to a Halo cosplayer's arsenal. These weapons can be picked up in two main places, the first being, of course, online, like places like Amazon, eBay. But if you're looking for something a little more local, you usually check out your Toys R Us. Although I have seen them at a couple Targets and Kmarts, but those have varying success. If you want one of your favorite Halo weapons and Boomco's released it, I would definitely recommend getting it. This has been Twilight Spartan with Thoughts of a Spartans, and until next time. Hello again, folks, and thanks for watching yet another episode of Thoughts of a Spartan. The tiebreaker last weekend for a React was pretty close, but Slice of Life came out on top, so be sure to look out for its release close to the end of September. Also, at the end of the month, we'll be announcing a couple of conventions we'll be attending, so if you want to meet the Spartans, be sure to keep your ears open for that announcement.